We need
Whoa.
it right now. And Admiral, as you know, the new VA director is sort of calling the names and punching them out. It could be, hundreds of folks. This particular woman, in this case, is not among them. But you say not enough.
Well, Neil, Voltaire said once upon a time, it is good that we should execute an admiral every now and then to encourage the others. And that's what Mr. McDonald is doing. And the point is, you don't have to execute very many admirals, or very many, in this case, hospital administrators, to get the rest of them to get the message that there's a new guy in town taking that ship of state in a new direction. So I think that the 35 names or so that he has sent to Congress in which there are administrative proceedings in place will be enough, I think, to send a signal.
Well, I always give this guy some credit here. He's coming in, baptism by storm. He's trying to get the middle managers and above, to mention nothing of the underlings who were doing a lot of this crazy stuff with delaying care for veterans. So, while we want quick action in government, that's pretty quick for government work. So there are a lot of critics who are saying it's still not enough, that all these folks who are doing all this stuff, they should face criminal sentencing. What do you think?
Well, some people may face criminal sentencing because many of the names and cases are being turned over to the Justice Department for adjudication.
That's right.
So in the federal government, we want to err on the side of a due process, clearly, when someone is having their job taken away from them. But Mr. McDonald has started that process on certain people, and if someone has done something that was against the law, then they'll be liable against the law. We've got to remember, Neil, that we underestimate the enormity and the inertia of the VA. 300,000 employees, 100 million appointments a year for 9 million veterans. That's a big ship to move.
Do we need it, Admiral?
It's like trying to move an aircraft carrier with a canoe paddle. And
but do we need it? In other words, I had Montel Williams here yesterday who wondered whether the VA system as we know it is archaic, that maybe there ought to be a voucher system. He's not saying it specifically, something where veterans would get access to all hospitals, any hospital, anytime, rather than this labyrinth, this maze.
The Department of Defense for active duty people has increasingly outsourced through TRICARE and other methods exactly that. They've cut down on the number of active duty hospitals, and active duty people get taken care of most of the time out in the economy. So there's possibilities for that within the VA. Right now, 10 cents of every VA health dollar is being spent out in town. And the number of appointments out in town away from VA is up like 75% over the past year or so. So it is moving in that direction, and I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to go in that direction in the same way it did for the remainder of the Department of Defense.
If you get sick, Admiral, God forbid, would you feel safe going to a VA hospital?
I would feel safe going to a VA hospital. I would make sure that I got seen on time. Their numbers now are way, way up in terms of the people that are being seen within 30 days. And most veterans that go to VA hospitals rank them very highly in terms of customer satisfaction when they go back. So, yes, Neil, I would be prepared to get taken care of.
Do you get more attention because you were an admiral?
I would get more attention because I'm an admiral, and so, but that's a true statement. But I think that 99% of the people going to VA hospitals are not admirals, and they're the ones that are showing that they're happy.
And the Admiral puts his money where his mouth is. He's helping out the Blue Star Veterans Network. Long after service, still serving.
Just a small point on this Veterans Day. All of America should remember that veteran care is increasingly elder care.
You're right.
Over half of America's veterans are over the age of 65. And if you look at Americans that are over the age of 65, strange statistic, nearly half of them are either a vet or a spouse or a widow of a vet. So we got to take care of those 25-year-olds coming home from Afghanistan.
You're absolutely.
But we got to take care of the 75-year-olds who went to Korea and the 90-year-olds who went to World War II. My parents are in that gang. Someday I'll be in that gang, and so we got to remember that.
Absolutely. As our own Bert Hume said, it's the fastest growing demographic in America.
Absolutely. Doubling in the next 30 years.
Very good. Admiral Robert Wray, thank you very, very much. Good seeing you.
Thanks, Neil.
In the meantime, it should be a day we honor our